Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning to you all. Happy Wednesday to you. Danny, I don't know what you're doing over there, but that's exciting. I don't know what she's got going on, but I'm excited to see Danny in a couple of days. I'm excited to see a lot of you in a couple of days. And before I bring our guest on, let me just tell you, Fran, first of all, Fran sends me the funniest text messages at about 5 o'clock in the morning that just make me laugh. And if I don't send Fran a video, she sends me like the middle finger emoji and says, "Stop what you're doing and make sure you send it to me." And so I did it, Fran. I did it. Jackie, good morning to you. What's going on? Brian, what up, brother? Good morning to Brian. Irma, Jesse, Wendy, Jennifer, Lisa. What's going on, everybody? Chet's in the house. Good morning to you, Chet, Louie, Michelle, all of you on here this morning. I just want to just say this one thing. I love you guys very much when I say this. So I want to preface that first. Last week, when I didn't have this show, and my morning was so much more relaxing. Let me just tell you, having a Nashville, having a really crazy idea that thinking that going to New York City with my daughter for a Christmas gift. Well, see, but where's Coach? Where's Coach Sonona? So Coach Sonona had a situation that took place. So I was supposed to speak in New York City tomorrow. And so I have a flight today in literally about an hour. My daughter's texting me, "When are you coming? When are you coming? When are you coming?" My hotel that was supposed to be tonight had to be rebooked. And she just doesn't want to be at school. And so her biggest thing was, "Dad, can we go to Starbucks?" I'm like, "Brielle, you have no idea what I got going on right now." So I'm leaving today to go to New York City to take her to Times Square, to go to Rockefeller Center, to go to Central Park, taking her to the musical Wicked tomorrow. And we are going to have the time of our life. And for those of you, I'm just going to be honest with you, I'm going to be very intentional with her. So if I don't respond to you right away, just know that this is my time with my daughter. I will probably not sleep for the next 6 days, but you know what? It's going to be perfect because the military, hell, those guys can last like 7 days. Actually, if you found out they do get 1 hour sleep on Wednesday, I found that out that I read it that they have to at least have an hour sleep and they actually hate it. David Goggins says that it's the worst thing in the world because your brain finally shuts down and then it's like you're trying to get up. And like, how many of you like hate to take a nap and then you wake up and you feel worse? Like, right? I digress. Anyways, so I'm just really excited. There's so many moving parts on Nashville. I just got word that we now have Robert, who was on yesterday, now has an Airbnb with 3 beds. So for those of you trying to, and it's in downtown Nashville. So for some of you that just like want to really get the Nashville lifestyle, I just put it inside the Facebook group. So make sure you go to that. So he's also doing 20% off and he's hooking everybody up who wants to do that. Secondly, just got a freaking singer for lunch on Monday. So we will have a singer literally come to us at the venue and will be playing for us. And he has a story because, everything has a reason and a purpose for me and why we present things and do things. This guy is amazing. I will release his information probably tomorrow. If you're not on Group Me, you need to get in the Group Me. Grace, make sure everybody's on Group Me. Could you put that link in the chat? Also, those of you for the hockey game Sunday night, Daniel's going to be there. He's our guest, but Daniel's going to be there. Chet's going to be there. Jackie's going to be there. There's a bunch, Michelle, Jill. I can go through all the names here, but I'm just, wonderful. Just trying to sneak everything in, but we need you on Group Me because I got to get your emails on how to get you to get your ticket on Sunday. Then this happened. Then this is all the fun stuff I want to share with you because Daniel does events too. He does all this stuff. Him and Chet just did one with Tom Ferry. How many of you have heard of Tom Ferry? Put a 5 in the chat if you've heard of Tom Ferry. Put a 5 in the chat. Put a 5 in the chat. Daniel and Chet all freaking hooked up people, real estate agents here in Charlotte, through their mortgage CrossCountry and said, "We're taking you with us." Several of you that are on here today went to it on their behalf. They crushed it taking you all to Tom Ferry. I love Tom Ferry, Jimmy Mack, and Jason, all these guys. So shouts out to Daniel and Chet for freaking taking realtors and putting value into them. So we got, so when you hear events, it's like mayhem. So I'm trying to figure out a shuttle all. And let me just tell you, Nashville, it's not cheap all. And so I go to the guy, I said, what I'm really looking for is I need a shuttle that can hold over 50 people, and it needs to have a lot of energy and like music and everything else and lights. I should not have said that. I should have said, I'm looking for an old bus that maybe can hold like barely anybody. Just, yellow, red flashing lights is perfectly fine. Of course, he sends me this amazing freaking shuttle, and I fell in love with it all. So let me just tell you all, we're going to be rocking and rolling when we go down to freaking downtown Nashville Monday night. And then they talked me into it because I wasn't too sure, because I know how crazy people are in Nashville. I just got it for 5 hours. So it's bringing you to and from, so you don't have to worry about drinking and driving and all that fun stuff. And we're going to be dancing inside the shuttle as much as we are outside the shuttle. So we got that going on for us Monday night as well. So if you're trying to figure out what you're going to be doing, you're probably barely going to sleep. Let's just call it how it is. And it's just going to be intense. So I'm very excited about it all. And so that's some of the updates on here. So without further ado, let's get started here. So good morning, everybody. My name is Coach Brock Zivian. I'm a life coach, business coach, real estate coach, and a DAD. And I also have 2 dogs that heard me, and now they want to have a little engagement with us as well. So we're just going to have to bear through a little bit of barking, but we'll make it work. Right, John? So guys, the guest that we have today, his duo partner, Chet and Daniel, they work with CrossCountry Mortgage. They are our main sponsors for this event. So for those of you, when you see them at the event, you give them a hug, you give them another hug, you give them a high five and everything else, because without people like them, we can't do it. And at the same token, how they're able to do it is business. And that's what it's all about. It's about networking, relationships, and opportunities. And so I'm very blessed. I met them a couple weeks ago. Chet was reaching out to me. We had several conversations. And when I say several, we had several conversations. And it was conversations that really, I lean into it. So one of our speakers panel, he did $1.2 billion in sales. And he is going to be one of our guests on the panel with Daniel on Tuesday morning. Well, when I asked Daniel some questions, he said to me this. He goes, Brock, do you think I could speak also on behalf of how I can help real estate agents come up with creative ways to get buyers off the fence? Put a 10 in the chat. If you got somebody who's on the fence that you just freaking wish they would just buy some property, put a 10 in the chat. If I'm speaking to somebody that just on the fence, trying to freaking make something happen, but you're just like, I don't know what to say. They're so close. I don't know what to do. I wish I had something to offer them to get them to buy something so I can put money in my bank account. All right. So Daniel, you can see there's a lot of 10s here. So we have a lot of people here, Daniel, that you are going to speak to that really resonated with me when you said to me, I like to share this with your group. And that's what it's all about to me. I don't care what firm you're at. I don't care about any of that type of stuff, how much money you have, your skin color, long hair, short hair. It's all about pouring value into you and the people around me. And Daniel, you and your team are that. So I'm very blessed and thankful that we were able to connect and to be able to have this opportunity. So guys, put some love in the chat, put some 5s in the chat as I welcome Mr. Daniel Jacobs to the stage. Good morning, Daniel. Good morning to you, brother.
Good morning, Brock. Glad to be here. And no pressure or anything for Nashville, right?
right. None at all. Just
it's
trying to make
exciting.
it
It's
all.
good stuff.
Like,
thank you.
well, I appreciate you all. I appreciate your team and the numerous of conversations that we had, because you brought up some really great questions. I got to learn about you and Chet and your team, your organization, both in Nashville as we are working to grow a team out there in Nashville as well here in the Charlotte area. So for those that don't know you, many of you don't know Daniel and his team. So Daniel, if you can, with our limited time that we have, kind of as we have several questions, but give us a 10,000 overview of like who you are so they get to know you.
Absolutely. So I am both hesitant and proud to announce that this will be my 30th year in the mortgage business.
Wow. 30 years in mortgage. That is not an easy task.
The thing is, I got started when I was 5. Okay, so uh, no, it is. It's been a long journey, right? So, but during my 30 years, I've done a number of things. Look, right now, my role is I'm the leader of the True Team at CrossCountry Mortgage, and I'm the division vice president here at CrossCountry Mortgage. So CrossCountry Mortgage, for many of you, you may know, we're the largest retail lender in the nation. 1 out of 35 homes purchased with financing last year, we did the financing on. And what's really interesting about our team is I like to say that we're built to solve, but we're really backed to perform because we've got that big company behind us, right? But in terms of my particular background, I have done everything from originate loans to lead the largest mortgage broker in the country for many years. And then around 2010, converted to mortgage banking. And I've led a couple of, scaled up a couple of large national mortgage banking firms. And now we've got the True Team here at CrossCountry.
I love it, man. So you've been in the industry quite some time, 30 years, a lot of experience. Give us a quick little background of your family, a little bit about that and who you
Oh
bring to the
my,
table here with your
yeah.
family.
So I've got 3 kids.
Right.
I've got my daughter's going to be 24 this month, and I got
Wow.
twin boys that'll be 21. My daughter's already out of college and working, and she's looking to go to grad school, and my boys are at Vanderbilt, which I was excited to be coming to Nashville to see him, but he won't be there. He's actually going to do a study abroad. He'll be leaving
Oh,
for
nice.
Vienna in a week and a half. And my other son is in Atlanta at Emory
Oh,
University, and he'll be also doing a study abroad this semester in Madrid. And today he's taken the LSAT. He's got his sights and going to law school. So I've got kids who are much better students than I ever was.
well, prayers for your son on the right answers to find. Let me ask you a question just to
Yeah.
kind of get into some of the conversation here. What is that like? Because we talk about figuring it out moments. What was that like when you found out you had twins? Like, do you like?
I can tell you exactly about it. Okay, because I was standing at the time when they were doing the ultrasound, and she said, "I see 2 of them," and I sat down and I said, "What did you just say 2?" She says, "Yeah." I said, "How did that happen? I don't even clip coupons. How did I get a 2 for 1?"
Right.
But it's been great. It's been amazing. Yeah.
Well, the key ingredient, the reason why I asked that is we're not like whatever cards God deals us. It's not like you're going to say, "Hey, I only came into this prepared to have one, so you're going to have to return one back." We
Right.
don't get that in life, right?
No.
And you embraced it, Daniel, and said, like, "Oh shit, like I'm not too sure about this, but you know what? You got 2 kids going to college, and you're a proud dad of all 3 of your kids."
Absolutely.
And I say this to you all that some of you here today are facing that oh shit moment and you're not too sure. And this wasn't what I had planned. And I'm not too sure how to get to Nashville. And I'm not too sure how my 2026 is going to look like. And boy, 2025 is not the way I road mapped it, but I got it really planned out now. But life's going to happen to you just like Daniel. And Daniel's standing here, sitting here, a successful person who has kids in college, and Vanderbilt and those schools aren't cheap, and you
No.
made it and you figured it out. So Daniel, hats off to you, brother, and how
Yeah.
you keep showing up, and those leaning in today keep showing up and figuring out a way. There's reasons why we keep pitching Nashville is because we know live events change lives, and it will change your life. And we sold more tickets this week. That's why I've had to order more tables and chairs, because we'll pack the room. I don't care if we got to have people and I got to give you my chair, because I know what it does to people. I know what it changes. So Daniel, as we pivot into one of the key ingredients that I ask people is, I got two questions for you, but my first question is share with us like a defining moment, a
Mm,
moment where you had to like figure it out. Now we already did the first one with your twins, but
mhm.
what would be like one of those in your life that took place that you're just like, man, I really didn't think I was getting out of the corner, or there was a moment in your life that maybe somebody here is going to resonate with. What would that be for you?
Oh, well, a couple come to mind, but I'll share one with you right now. So, 2008, I was running the nation's largest mortgage brokerage. We were doing about $4 billion a year in loan volume, and we had 1,200 employees nationwide.
Did you guys hear what year he said for those in the real estate? Did you just hear what year? Because I'm just already cringing just when you said the year.
Oh yeah, that's pivotal to this. Okay, so um, things were rough. There were two ways about it, and it was late that year, and a buddy of mine that I knew through a trade association was arranging a dinner with 8 mortgage leaders in Washington, D.C. with Barney Frank. And it was a private room. We went and had the dinner with them, and I left that dinner very, very, very worried, because now you guys all know that what that was pre Dodd Frank, right? So he and Chris Dodd got together and they created the Dodd Frank law. But at that dinner, he basically roadmapped all the new laws he wanted to implement and said it would be the defining moment of his career and he would retire after he did it, which that's what he did, right? Um, and some of them good, some of them bad, okay? But one of the things that he talked about was that he didn't like mortgage brokering, and he was going to make sure that only big banks, could do loans. There's going to be no more mortgage brokers, and I believed him. And
Mm.
just so you know, it didn't happen, but it was an 11th hour thing that brokering got spared. And brokering went from 70% market share to 6% market share, and it's bounced back up to in the 20s, but it took a long time. And I had a decision to make about what to do with our company, because in order for us to pivot and become a mortgage banker, I needed $20 million in
Mm.
capital.
Oh,
And there
just
was
20
no
million,
$20
huh?
million available in 2008 for a mortgage company. You'd be better off to punch a man in his gut and call his mother something not very friendly than to ask for $20 million in the mortgage business in 2008. And so that was a defining moment. We had to make some decisions about what we were going to do, because we had 1,200 families relying on us for their career, and for us to be laying the tracks for their career for next month, next quarter, next year. And we had to make some pretty significant changes to our organizational structure and bring in some investors, not because we weren't profitable. We had gone through the dip, and we had gotten back to break even, and we had figured that out, but because the fundamental model was changing under our feet, and we had to change with it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Guys, that story right there. When I was $156,000 in IRS debt and the police officer showed up at my door, it's those stories that make me like, well, it's not that bad. I mean, you got 20
Right.
million compared to 156,000. Like
Right. Right.
somebody, and where's Jada? When he was bitching and whining about something, he's one of my coaching clients. I said, Jada, I want you to go, is there a hospital nearby you? I said, is there a cancer unit in there? I said, I want you to go to that floor
Mm.
and I want you to go walk around that
Mhm.
floor. And I want you to go talk to some of those people and ask them when was the last time they walked outside, and ask them where they are in their treatment. And I promise you, Jada, all your little freaking little problems you have are going to melt. because somebody else has it a lot worse than you do. And you need to come with gratitude and appreciation. And so, Daniel, when you share your story and what you overcame, hats off to you because that's not fun, 20 million. And if you are in charge of other people's livelihoods and families, it's hard. I remember when I was in this teaching world and I had to fire some families. And the way that I got it's not fun. You
Mm-mm.
affect people's lives. And
That's
not
right.
only your personal life, but other people's lives. And knowing that you're a nurturing person, Daniel, I can only imagine that weighs on you 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning, at lunchtime, driving in your car, going to the bathroom, picking up your cell phone, picking up your kid. It doesn't leave you, but you made it through. And for those of you on here today, understand perspective that we're all blessed in an opportunity. And his story resonates with me and just kind of brings me back to gratitude. You know what? Don't have it that bad and I'm going to be okay. And this trip's going to be okay. Nashville's going to be okay because people like Daniel and people like you all around here have stories to share to help you. Now, Daniel, as I pivot and turn and going into Nashville, give us a couple cliff notes, some couple bullet points of how you are going to help people that are listening to you on Monday and Tuesday. What does that look like?
Well, I think I'll be talking about mainly one topic, but really there are two topics that I feel particularly passionate about at this moment. And one is solutions, asking the right questions and having the right team, and having the right resources. But you can have the right team and the right resources, but not ask the right questions, and you don't get to the solution. So we're going to be
Jackie,
talking
hear
about
that?
that.
I love, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but like,
No,
I
you're
love that. The solutions, all because you got to ask the right questions. You ask the wrong question at the wrong time or the right question at the wrong time, you're not going to get the solution you need.
or sometimes even worse, which is what I think so many of us do. I'm guilty too, is we make assumptions
Mm,
rather than asking the open-ended question. So Mike, and I'll preview. I'll tell you this real quick. But when my kids went to this, and I'm for those of you that can be in Nashville, I'll probably share this too. But my kids went to this preschool where it was a little unconventional, and they didn't have any branded, toys or anything. And they told the parents, don't ask the kids questions like, don't say things like, "Oh, I love that drawing of that giraffe," because in their mind it might not have been a giraffe. Okay. They said, ask them, tell me about that. And you'd be surprised what you learn.
mm,
And I have used that in business to my advantage because it is amazing when we see a giraffe, but they saw a monkey. And you know what? I needed to know what they were drawing, not what my perception was. And so asking the right questions helps us get on the journey to the solution. And how many of us have met folks who wanted to buy a home, who wanted to refinance a home, to purchase whatever it is, and they didn't think they could, and we figured out a way for that to work for them because we were listening, we were asking the right questions, and we were asking the right questions, and we coupled the right questions with the right resources, and we were the bridge. And we're going to be talking about a lot of examples of solutions that are out there and real examples where we've helped real life people to get into homes that we're told no elsewhere. And we're going to arm everyone in the audience with actionable ideas to get more business with the resources they already have. They may not even realize.
you
The
don't
other
know
topic,
what you don't know.
right? Yeah. And the other topic, by the way, that I'm really passionate about right now, and we'll see if we have time to talk about it, is I'm very concerned about the average age of first-time homebuyers. So traditionally,
Mm,
homeowners build 40 times the wealth of renters in the United States over time. We all know this stat. The problem is that stat was predicated on the long-standing age range of first-time homebuyers being in their late 20s to early 30s. It has moved to 40. That lost decade will impact that 40x to wealth. It has to. That's just the way compounding works. And so it is our job as real estate professionals to have the conversation with those folks in their late 20s and early 30s and explain to them how they cannot have a lost decade of wealth building and get them to be homeowners. And I think that I think we can do it one 30-year-old at a time.
I love that phrase. You cannot afford to have a lost decade.
You
I mean,
can't.
I like you
Look
just
at Japan.
yeah.
It,
You just
it's had a
these
generational impact on their economy when they had their lost decade.
a huge. Imagine 10 years off. 10 years for those of you in the numbers category. Look how smart I am. I knew a decade was 10. Guys,
Well,
that is
I'll throw this out at you. Okay. If you take someone who buys a home at age 30 for $450,000, just average, right? $450,000. Nashville's average a little higher, but let's just use that number. That house, if it appreciates at about 3.5% real conservative, by the time they retire at age 65, that house is worth about $1.3 million. If they wait till they're 40 and buy the same $450,000 house, which will not be the same house 10 years later, but we'll use that. It's only worth 900,000. Still good, right? But there's half of the accumulated equity is gone because they waited those 10 years. Oh, and by the way, spoiler alert that we all know, they're not buying the same $450,000 house. In 10 years, they got to spend $600,000 for that same house. So the math still, it gets even worse. So you start looking at that, and it has a profound effect. It's a recent phenomenon, and we must reverse it.
And guys, the key thing is educating people. Okay. The narrative, control the narrative, control the education, because people don't know this type of stuff. They're just like, well, I'm not too sure. Like they think they just get so what's the saying? Like, step over a dollar to pick up a quarter. Like they miss out on these opportunities because they just don't understand. And I remember there's certain conversations like, I'm you all done this before. Oh, now I get it. Right? We've said that before, and this is what we need to educate and to be able to push out. And then this is why we're going to be teaching you about social media and how to use artificial intelligence by taking the knowledge that Daniel gives you and to be able to put it to the masses, to be able to put it to people who need to have the listening ear. So that way you can get more business. It's all about giving value to people so they go, oh, well, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah. How do I don't want to lose out on that. So these type of things is what we're going to be talking about. This is what Daniel's going to be teaching and coaching you and what we're going to be doing in Nashville. And that's why it's so important, because it can affect you don't want to miss out on a whole year because you're just like, well, I can't do it now. You can, you just got to figure it out. And that's why we're here. So guys, Daniel's going to be here. We're going to see him on Sunday. For those of you at the hockey game, for those that would see you, we got breakfast sessions, lunch sessions to have conversations with people. We got happy hour sessions. We have the session itself, but at the same token, it's all about when you meet with people during the breaks and you have those intimate conversations, because it is all about the questions. Where's Sherry? Sherry was doing an open house and the person said, I didn't like the home, because I didn't like the master down on the main. And then she started to share some statements. I said, well, why the hell do they not want it on the main? Like, did you ask that question? And it's understanding, like, what's the reason behind it? What's going on with it? Because then you can provide more solutions, like Daniel said. So, Daniel, thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you being on here. I appreciate you being part of our show and a part of our Nashville event with you and your team and Chet and everything else. So thank you, man. I appreciate you and looking forward to seeing you in a couple days.
Yeah. We're looking forward to it. Very excited about it.
Guys, Daniel's all his information's in the chat here. We got his mobile, his direct. I'm assuming that's a fax number. We don't see faxes very often, but we're just going to put it anyways. We got his email on there. We got all his links, his Instagram, and all that stuff there. So reach out to him
Just
if you
for the
got a
record, I
question.
haven't gotten a fax in 10 years. You said I got
Yeah,
a fax number.
that's a lost decade right there in the fax world. It's a lost
Ah,
decade in the
I
fax
guess
world.
I guess actually it does work for faxes, but yeah, you can call me or
Yeah.
text me.
Guys, I appreciate everybody. I'm about to get on a plane in New York City. I'll be back tomorrow morning with one of our other guests and Justine. Brian Galkey will be here. This is one that you're not going to want to miss out on. He's an Inman national speaker, thanks to Jim Morris, because we were able to connect with him because I found out how much money he charges to speak. And let's just say the first two numbers are a 5 and a 0, and you can figure out how many other zeros I got to add to it. And he just truly comes from connection. You're not going to want to miss tomorrow. So 8:15, I'll be in New York for my hotel reaching out. Still here. Justine will be here. Guys, if we can help you get to Nashville in any possible way, all the links, the tickets, the sales, whatever it is, we got people who need rooms. We can help you out with that. We can make it work. Guys, Daniel, thank you. Chet, thank you for all of you. God bless you. And I'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 8:15. Till then, see ya.